Entrepremommies, we share from experience. Moms talk about things that affect moms in general. The mommy entrepreneurs, we are the moms that handle business, and that means a lot. Remember, Entrepremommies.
Hello, and welcome to the Entrepremommies Show. I am Tiffany Tracey, also known as the Resellqueen.
And I'm Nicole Flamer. How you doing?
Hey, Nikki. How's your week been?
Well, I had COVID.
Well, at least you can laugh about it.
Yeah. Primarily the week before and a little bit of last week. Yeah. So this week I'm feeling pretty good.
Good.
Got some energy back, but it's funny. I mean, well, not funny, but it's like as soon as all the case numbers and stuff start going down, that's when I get sick, right?
Of course.
Everybody's looking at you. You late to the party, Nikki.
Right. Well, wait a minute though, but then you have, isn't this COVID number 2 for you?
I officially think it's COVID number 3 because I think I had COVID in like 2019, like right before everybody knew it was COVID, because I got real sick then, and then the following year I had it, and then this year. So I think this is number 3 for me, honestly. 2 officially, 3 unofficially. So
wow.
Yeah. So
wow.
Yeah, but I'm kind of done with COVID. I've decided that I'm tired of it and I'm ready to move forward and not let this it's not even like I wasn't really that sick. I guess I can thank the vaccinations and the booster shot that I didn't really get that sick. The only reason why I even went to like urgent care to like get checked out is because I couldn't. My throat got real sore and I couldn't swallow, and I like to eat, and that was becoming a problem. So, I can't swallow. I'm like, oh, this is not going to work. So, and then, but I did a home test and it was negative. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe I have like strep throat. Right. And they're like, oh, well, let's do the PCR test, which is like poly chain something. I don't know. It's supposed to be the better than the home test. And that came back a couple of days later and said, oh, it's abnormal, you're positive. And I'm like, really? Oh my gosh. So, but yeah, I'm done with it. I'm done. I think COVID is so 2021, and it's not in fashion this year. So this year is about health and wealth and wellness and like getting in shape, and like, I've been going to the doctors. I've been hitting up all my doctor's appointments and stuff. I got some blood work I'm going to do. So yeah, I'm ready to be healthy now. I don't be sick anymore. So that's me. That's where I'm at right now.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, I'm glad to see you here.
Thank
you. I did not realize you had COVID until you sent me that message, and I was like, you got COVID?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And that seems like how it creeps up on you, because when we got COVID in my house, I took my son to the emergency room because I thought it was something like a blockage in his intestines or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I took him to the emergency room, because he's young. He don't go to the bathroom all the time. He's a little boy. And where he had the pain, I was like, oh, he probably got a blockage or something, And I get there and they're like, no, it's COVID. I'm like, what? And it's funny is the nurse that, was there for the intake. He was like, oh, I kind of figured that's what it was when you got here.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, are you serious? He was like, yeah, I could tell you weren't thinking that way. So I didn't say anything to you. Mm-hmm. And I just made the COVID test just a regular part of what we do now, because it is. But he was like, I knew he had COVID when he walked in. I was like, oh. My mind didn't go there.
Yes. The COVID test is the equivalent of like Maury's, you are the father. Like,
right?
negative, you're like flipping off the stage, like, yeah.
Right. Not the father. I'm not the father. I told you that baby don't look like me.
That's right. I don't got no COVID. Maybe I got the flu or pneumonia, but it ain't COVID.
Right. Goodness gracious. I will be so glad when this is over, because it's like there's a lot, just like business wise, there's like so many things that are like up in the air. You know, some states are taking the mask mandates off.
Yes.
Some schools are doing that now. School districts, like I know in my state, we just got a new governor, and nothing against the man, but I felt better when we had our last governor. Not that I agreed with everything that he did, but by trade, he was a pediatrician.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he was a doctor, like a real one, you know?
Yes.
So I actually felt that he handled the business end of being the governor, and also understanding, meaning that he could read a medical journal and understand what it meant.
Right. Yeah.
I felt that he really handled it really well because of his medical knowledge. Whereas this guy that we got, he's like, we have Youngkin now. He's like, no mask for nobody.
Right.
And like school districts are like suing because they want to keep the mask mandate. And he's like, oh, it's up to the parents.
Yeah.
You know, then they're like, but our teachers are not coming in because they are concerned.
Right.
Oh, you know, now
we don't have no teachers. It's hard to have school. It's hard to
it sure is, you know.
Yeah.
And I was reading an article before all of this happened with COVID about a nursing shortage. And if we had a nursing shortage before COVID, right? Imagine what that nursing shortage is now during towards the end of COVID. Yeah. So we feel
a lot of them are burnt out too and have left the field because of this, because it was too, I mean, the last 2 years really has been trying on that field in general.
It's very trying. I don't know how they do it. Like I knew very early on that going into the medical field was not for me. Yeah. So I never even entertained it.
Right.
I knew that early on because there's no way you want to get smart with me, and I'm going to still help you to be okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, my general fear of other people's bodily fluids kind of keeps me, like, even my kids, you know, they can like stub their toe and do stuff, and I'm like, can somebody help me? Because I'm not fit to deal with this type of stuff.
That's the first time your baby has that blowout diaper. You're like, oh
yeah. I am like,
could you imagine with a grown person?
Yeah, shop vac in it, like.
I knew that wasn't the profession for me. I knew that, and so knowing that, like, how many people that are looking to go into college, looking to go to school for a trade, are actually thinking, there's no way I'm going in the medical field.
Right.
There's no way I'm going to be a nurse. There's no, like, and it makes you wonder, you know, business wise, what are they going to do to attract medical professionals?
Yeah.
You know, we already have a screwed up medical system, you know, but what are they going to do to attract, you know? So it makes me really wonder what the future is going to look like with COVID in the medical field. And, you know, you may think, oh, well, I own a business. Why does that why does that concern me? It should concern you. The health of your customers should concern you. Because if there aren't any customers, you're not making money.
Right. Yeah.
So it's in your, I always say, you got to have that. How can I put it? And it's probably going to sound really bad, but I think you'll get what I mean. If you're a drug dealer, it doesn't make sense for all your customers to overdose.
Oh, heck no.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You give them just enough so they get their high and come right on back.
Right.
Because if you give them something to overdose, they ain't coming back.
No, you done lost a customer
Okay?
income stream. Yeah.
Right.
I understand what you're saying.
So
yeah.
And I hate to say it that way, but that's the way you have to have that drug dealer mentality.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give y'all just enough so y'all keep on coming back.
Okay?
Right. You know, I don't want nothing to happen to my good customers.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's that too. And it's also your customers are looking at what you're doing for COVID to fight COVID, or they're looking at all that and they're trying to figure out, is this a company that I want to be associated with? You know what I mean? I mean, really, one thing I've learned through this whole thing, I hit my computer, but about customers is that because we were home so much and so long, a lot of customers spent a good amount of time really researching and, well, I mean, they had time.
Right. They had time on their hands.
Right. Who they were buying from. And, you know, I think one reason there's a lot of exposés of businesses and stuff and business practices is because people are saying like, well, do I really support what these people are doing? Do I really support how they run their business? You know, and they've had time to think of it. So you have to kind of get your stuff together as a business and be like, okay, am I putting forth an image that my customers want to align with, you know? Mm-hmm. So how you handle this COVID thing and how you handle it in the future, whatever comes from the future, which is a big question mark.
It sure is.
You know, I mean,
what's going to come after COVID?
Yes, right. Like I mean, I'm totally reevaluating what I'm going to do from now on based off of the last 2 years, just because I realized that, I don't know, I think I hate to sound like this because I am a beacon of hope, if you will, but the last 2 years taught me that things aren't necessary. Like I thought I had a business model, right? This is how it's going to be, like barring nuclear war or the apocalypse or whatever. I never even thought about a pandemic. It's funny when they said we were in a pandemic, I'm like, oh, that's for people overseas. We don't really get pandemics.
Yes, that don't happen to us. That don't happen to us.
That's overseas. Like I am.
Oh yeah,
those Chinese people are gonna be wearing masks again and stuff. You know what I mean? Like that's what I was thinking. I mean, because that was my association with that word, pandemic. From what was it? The ones that we've had in the past, they were primarily in Asia, and they didn't touch our shores, but ever so lightly, not to the extent that they did this time. Like my whole model of business has changed just on the fact that I need to be more self-sufficient. I need to not have to rely on too many moving parts that are not in my control, things like that. So I mean, I don't know. Did you find similar thought processes?
Well, it's funny because when COVID really kind of first hit, it hit me, but it didn't hit me. And the way that it hit me was I was running out of inventory.
Yeah.
Like 2020, 2021, those were probably my best years ever making money.
Mm-hmm.
Which sounds sad because of what we were going through.
Right.
But it's not just me.
I had a good year too.
What's his name? Bezos. He's doing real well.
Yes.
Okay.
Shoot, Amazon is a utility now.
Yo, that's right. I mean,
like gas, electric, and Amazon. Right?
Like Bezos, his whole model was set up for this because it was all set up for convenience.
Yep.
It was, and then they started, with their own delivery services.
Mm-hmm.
They only had it piloting in the big cities.
Yeah,
girl, I'm in a little small town, and when I order Amazon, it's coming from my neighbor that drives around with their Amazon logo on their car.
Yes,
that's how they doing it now.
Yeah.
So it taught me that whatever I offer needs to either be, as far as products, digital or a service that can be done just like what we're doing,
right,
through live virtual.
Mm-hmm.
I started doing more downloadable products.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually taken more time to do writing.
Yeah.
I've done more blog posts than I've done before. I'm still working on, I'm working on a, I guess you call it a novel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost done that. And it was something that I started like over 10 years ago. I just never finished it.
Right.
And I was like, I gotta finish this.
Yeah.
Because I gotta sell it.
Yeah.
Who knows? It could be a series on Netflix.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
like I'm like, okay, if anything, COVID pushed me like, you got stuff that you still need to get done.
Yes. Yep.
That's what it really has taught me is like, I can't just kind of sit back and chill and say, I'll get to that in a year or two.
Yeah.
I'm getting to that now.
Yeah.
And even though I have like my, my reselling business,
Mm-hmm.
and that has been doing very well. That's not the only thing I want to do.
Right. Yes. Yep.
It's not the only thing I want to do. I like to talk.
Yeah.
So that for me is one of the things where I decided, if I am given the opportunity to be like on more podcasts, be a guest on a podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and just be visual, just to talk, whether it's about business or whatever.
Right.
As long as it's something I feel comfortable talking about, I'm going to do it.
Yeah,
and
right.
That's what I've done. Like,
yeah.
And I created more of a brand of myself
Mm-hmm.
versus just a brand of something that I sell or resell. And I look at the way COVID affected me was that it taught me that we may have to be working out of our houses.
Right.
If something happens, I need to learn to shift.
Yeah.
So now I feel like I don't want to say pandemic proof,
right.
but in a way I had to learn that, and I feel for those that had to get up every day,
mm-hmm.
go to a job, put themselves in harm's way. Yeah. And I'm not even talking about the medical profession. I'm talking about people that work at the supermarket.
Yes. Yep.
Many of them, like I have noticed my supermarket, they have gone through
mm-hmm.
many employees. Like literally the managers that are there are the ones that stayed.
Yeah.
Everybody else is new.
Yeah.
Because you realize that's when you start to really realize, let me do something else.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'm even thinking about taking a course or two on a couple things.
Yeah.
Just to help myself
mm-hmm.
and say, here's another skill that I have that I can market.
Yeah.
And use virtually.
Yeah.
And that's, I'm not saying that virtual is everything because, there's always going to be service industries that, people will need. But you need to think about a way to innovate.
Yeah.
A way, especially like I think of like housekeepers.
Yeah.
Like I know someone personally who has like a residential cleaning business.
Mm-hmm.
And, they had to stop for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then they had a problem with people being sick with COVID and they walking in the house and they like, it should be okay. Just spray. Literally.
Right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just here's some Lysol. Just spray. It should be fine because we need you clean.
Right. Right.
Like, I'm not putting my life on the line for that.
Yeah.
It makes you really evaluate. So for COVID really pushed me to reevaluate everything.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about if I go into this particular industry, if there's a pandemic, what would happen? How would that get done? That's how I really am approaching everything, which I never really thought of before, but I kind of am.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why I even downsized like my inventory.
Mm-hmm.
And I began to start saying, okay, what can I get that's from the United States only?
Yeah.
Because girl,
mm-hmm.
I lost money, time, hair, dealing with these shipping issues from overseas.
Yes. Yeah.
And thank goodness I had other products that I could get from the United States to sell, because if all I had coming in was stuff from overseas, it wouldn't have been the same type of year.
Yeah. I struggled with that. I'd say probably 80% of my inventory is drop ship, and that was rough. I was still doing boatloads of sales, but it was taking forever. And my customers, for the most part, I would say most of them understood the supply chain issues and the fact that, I'd send out the emails and I'm like, it's out of my hands, because the sad thing with drop shipping is that a lot of times you don't know your suppliers and you can't get in touch with them to get like a straight answer. So it's like, oh, I'm checking on this order, and it's like, oh, well, it was sent. Okay. So how long ago? What, and like they don't know.
Right. They don't. Yeah, because you're not even talking to a person that's probably at the plant.
I know, right? And it's probably somebody sitting in their living room answering my emails and stuff. And then then I kind of became jaded, and a lot of the customer service things that I had worked on prior to COVID about like promptness and stuff, I found I kind of threw out the window, because I'm like, in a situation where I have no control over the outcome, my customer service I'm not gonna say it's wasted, but these people don't really care about my answers.
Oh no. So no. They just want to know when can they get their money back.
They want their money back. They want to know something. It's like, so a lot of the things that I had prided myself on beforehand, I was just like, hey, you know what? I'm just, my hands are tied. So yeah, but I hate that feeling. I that's one of the feelings that I'm like, I don't want to put myself in that situation again. And like, even when COVID had started and I was still cleaning Airbnbs, and my clients wanted me to come out when we were under state of emergency. And, one of them was like, you're considered essential. It was like, yeah, I might be considered essential, but I'm essential to my family first.
Right.
So it's like, I'm not gonna do this.
If that's the case, you go clean it.
Yes. Right. Exactly. Right. Exactly. So yeah, there's just a lot of things that you start saying, okay, my health, my family's health comes first. I'm not gonna put that at risk, especially when we didn't know. At first, I was like one of those people like, oh, okay, whatever. Just another way to make money or whatever. Like, grocery stores need sales. Like,
originally it was 2 weeks, Nikki. It was 2 weeks.
Yes, right? In 2 weeks. Exactly. I was like,
I ain't forgot that. I ain't forgot.
Yeah.
They said when 2 weeks, these kids is going to be out of school, Nikki. 2 weeks.
2 weeks, that's right. And I was like, okay, when the kids go back to school in a couple of weeks, and they just never went back to school.
Yeah. First of all, you don't lie to moms, okay? You don't lie to moms about how long your kids are going to be out of school, because who do you think deals with these kids and dealing with the education? It's the moms.
Yes.
Okay. Now, for a household that don't have a mom, I feel for them.
Oh,
because it has really COVID itself has really changed the landscape of moms in business and in the workplace. All of a sudden, you don't have daycares open.
Right. Yep.
Then, the school
people were relying on schools to stay open just so that they could go to work.
Exactly. Exactly.
Not today.
No. So like, I really truly think about like, if I had a traditional job, and I know people that were literally on the phone and then having to go back and forth.
Yep.
Dealing with their kid in school. If you have a kid that's in middle school, that's one thing.
Right.
Middle school, high school, they're more self-sufficient. You go check on them every so often to make sure they ain't fooling around. But a child in elementary school, like my kid, this happened to my kid in pre-K.
Right. Yeah.
Pre-K.
Yeah.
This happened. He doesn't know school any other way.
Right.
And then his whole kindergarten was like this.
Yeah.
Hi, teacher. Never met her. I think he met her 2 times.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
That was it. Every time he saw his teacher through the computer.
Yeah.
And then this year, he's finally this year they did like a hybrid, and then they said, okay, we're coming back. But then his school district, like yesterday, we got a sprinkle of snow. So as you can tell, I'm still a little jacked up from yesterday because I was not happy with the school district. So we got a sprinkle of snow.
Mm-hmm.
And I say a sprinkle, I mean a sprinkle.
Yes.
But because I live where I live in the South, they don't know what to do when it snows. So first they said it was going to be a 2-hour delay. All right, cool. I'll take your 2-hour delay. No problems. I'll let y'all play around in the snow for 2 hours. Then right before I'm getting ready to okay, let's get ourselves ready to deal with this 2-hour delay. Oh, it's going to be a remote learning day. And I said to my husband, what if I had a regular job?
Yeah.
How would this work?
Yeah. 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 Regular 9-to-5 in-person jobs did not win in the last 2. I mean, yeah. And I was thankful not to have been in that position because, I mean, with young kids, it's bad, but I have special needs kids. It's horrible.
Yeah, because then you take them out of their schedule.
Virtual learning with special needs kids is horrible because, for one, they're different learners. And typically it's visual and physical learning that really take sitting at a computer for hours.
No.
Listening to a teacher talk about things that they, no. And they can't do projects and stuff like that. Or, this was my favorite. I'm the teacher's aide at home, I'm, okay, Mom, do you have any socks? Do you have any buttons? Do you have this? So, I'm scurrying around the day, looking for stuff to facilitate their learning. And it's like, are you serious? I mean, I don't know how anybody could have done that and worked the full time. And there was actually some kids that I saw in my kids' classes that were there by themselves. And that, I guess, or, their camera would go black after.
Right.
But I'm like, yeah, not me. I can't. My oldest daughter, she wouldn't even sit for, I think she would do about 5-10 minutes before she decided she will get up and go explore the house. And then she'll come, then it's like, okay, Lola, sit down. You get first school, then break, and it's like, I said, oh no, this is not going to work. They either don't be, for my son, I would say the last month, I didn't even go to school with him. So it was his last year anyway.
Right.
But the last month, I said, we are not.
What they going to do, flunk you?
Right, exactly. What's he going to do? I was like,
last month.
We're not even, why am I going to stress myself? And I told the teacher that. I wrote her email. I said, look, Cyrus is at the end of his school life. I said, I have 8, they were 6. They're first grade. I said, I have first grade twins. They're at the beginning. I said, I'm going to put my time there and we're not coming to class.
So you want to see you.
Yes. So, yeah. So I'm like, sorry, but that's the type of decisions that we're having to be made. It's like, okay, at this point, who's more important? Sorry, Cyrus, you had 20 some years of school.
I'm sure he didn't care. I'm sure
he was like,
it's about time you turn this computer off, Mom.
He was so thankful that I didn't make him sit there because he was even worse. He was just totally not interested in watching somebody talk. And I'm just like, but it shows you where we need help in our educational system, even in our special ed system. Like it shows you, how important school is.
Yeah. It's really, it showed our breakdowns as a country.
Yes. Even mentally,
yes.
There's a lot of depressed people.
Oh yeah. It showed what we were lacking and what we used to really cover up.
Yep.
You know, we obviously need a whole overhaul of our education system. We need a whole overhaul of our medical system. You know, it showed our weaknesses.
Yeah.
If it really showed them, and it really showed them to the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, for a while we were the laughing stock. Like, look at these Americans.
Yes.
They won't even put on a mask. Yeah. And they wonder why their numbers keep going up.
Right. Yes.
It's like, gosh, that used to be us.
Right.
We used to
laughing at other people. Meanwhile, you know, they shooting people in other countries for not complying. Right. It's like, look, we taking this seriously.
Yo, I remember watching a video. I think it was China, and there was an apartment building, and they had a welder outside when they shut the door on the building because they did not want anyone coming out of that building because they were forced quarantining them.
Yes. Yeah. No joke.
No joke. They're like, nah, none of y'all coming out. Not only are y'all not coming out, we gonna make sure. They flipped the thing over the head and was like, okay. And they was welding those doors shut.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying that's the route everyone needs to go.
Oh, my God. Could you imagine if that happened in the United States? Oh, my gosh.
Well, it's so funny because I remember when SARS happened.
Yeah.
And I believe Obama was the president back then.
Yeah, I remember that.
And at one point in time, because it was according to where you were coming from on a plane, they were taking people off of planes and putting them in military bases for forced quarantine.
Yeah.
People fussed.
Oh, did they? They was not happy.
Fussed. I mean, and even I was like, oh, that's kind of mean. I mean,
right.
But after COVID, do it every time. Okay.
Close the borders.
Every time.
Nobody in or out. Right. It's like,
quarantine. Okay.
Stay in your house. Okay. Yo, that was kind of nice for a little bit. It was kind of nice for a little bit. But I'd say around week 4, I was done. I said, I don't like these people. No, I love them. I love them.
It's okay. Mamas understand. Okay.
Yes.
It's like, and I'm still on the 2 weeks because I don't like being lied to.
Yeah.
I prepared myself for the 2 weeks. But then when they're like, all right, we're gonna do a few more weeks. Next thing you know, it's the end of the year.
Yeah.
It's New Year's, and it's like, oh, we still doing this.
Yep. Yeah.
You know,
and then they want to tease you at the beginning of the next school year, like, oh, we're going back to in-person learning. And then it was like, nah.
Here come them numbers going up. Infection rates up. No more bids at the ICU. Right. You know.
Yes. Here, take these computers home with you. I'm like, we don't want those. Keep those do not come home.
Well, boy, did we get on a tangent about how COVID related us.
True.
Right?
Yes. Yes, right. Maybe this could be the last time it bothers us.
Yes, let's pray. Let's pray. So, one thing that we like to talk about here on Entrepremommies is nav.com. Do you know anything about your credit, your business credit? Well, nav.com can help you learn and monitor your credit, personal and business. If you'd like to learn more, just click on the link in the description box below. We really appreciate the support. Thank you for supporting our sponsors. We ask that you guys, we don't talk about things that will always help you. So if we discuss something, it will help you. Yes, they are a sponsor. It helps us. But we ask that if you learn something from us, take a look at our sponsors. You never know. It might be something that can help you. And nav.com really can help you. If they have a free service, they will monitor your credit, monitor your business credit. If you don't know how to set up your business as a legal entity, they have a whole process there. Anything for your business, nav.com can help you out.
Yes.
So let's talk about what we were going to talk about today.
That's right. Right.
Well, a couple things in the news. So let's talk about what everyone's talking about, which is the Super Bowl. Of course, got the Super Bowl ads. The Super Bowl just happened. Yes. We had our hip hop explosion of West Coast happening at halftime. Honestly, that's the only reason why I watched the Super Bowl.
Right. That's the concert you never got to go to 20 years ago.
Right. Get into the Up and Smoke tour, okay?
Yes.
Right. Yes. I do Harvard things for a while, huh? Anyway, but it was nice to see the performances. Of course, I had like my own thought process on what I wanted them to do, but I was happy with what I got. You know, it was the first time hip hop was on display that way.
Yeah.
With football, it's a nat. And I was happy to watch it. I was really happy to see it. But one of the things that is really great during the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl ads.
Yes.
You know, as a business owner, I like to look at those things as a class.
Yeah.
There's, like I've talked about Tasha K before and how I feel that she is a master class on how to do your YouTube.
Yeah.
I like looking at the Super Bowl ads because it's a nice marketing class.
Yeah.
Take away the whole thing of using celebrities.
Yeah.
We all know that that's cheap. Okay. You can use celebrities. And I say cheap, not like they are cheap, but I mean, it's a quick way to get someone's attention is if you use a celebrity. But there was one particular ad that everyone talked about. Some people didn't even know what it was, which I thought was hilarious, which was the QR code hopping all around the screen. That's all it was just a QR code. And when you scan the QR code, it takes you to Coinbase.
Oh, okay.
Well, the ad worked too well.
Did it break the internet?
It shut it shut their website down for hours. Because with the QR code, they were giving out $15 worth of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So, and when I saw the ad, I was like, it's just a QR code. What the heck is this?
Yes.
And it was on so long that I was like, all right, let me get my phone and see what it is.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, it's Coinbase.
Yeah.
Oh, it's them.
Yeah.
But that in my opinion was not being prepared.
Yeah.
For like you're having a national audience.
Yeah.
You paid $7 million.
Yeah.
For your ad to be played. It was like a 30-second ad with a QR code jumping around. So it cost them $7 million, really. Yeah. Because they didn't have to pay a celebrity.
Right.
All they had to do was use a QR generator, which we all know is free. Okay. And they put it on a video and bounced it around.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess after the $7 million, they probably didn't have any much more to spend. Said, let's do something real simple.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a good idea.
I think it's a fabulous idea. Yeah.
It was something simple. And what's funny, there's many people that are like, I didn't know what that was. Well, that commercial wasn't for you.
Right.
My mama didn't know what that was. I knew what it was.
Yeah.
So that commercial wasn't for you if you had no idea.
Yeah.
But there is a segment of people that were watching the game that knew exactly what that was.
Yeah. Well, there was an abundance of crypto ads. I mean, and I think, see, I look at the Super Bowl as the measure of, the Super Bowl ads, let's put it this way, as the measure of what is going to be kind of the trend for the next year, so to speak. So I think crypto is really trying to make a big move this year and become mainstream. Like, I mean, it's sort of mainstream, but like you said, there's a lot of people who had no idea what that was, let alone what a QR code was.
Right. Well, if I ask my mom, do you have any Bitcoin? She's not going to know what the heck I'm talking about.
Right.
Like, what's a bit in a coin?
Right.
I have drill bits.
Yeah.
That's how that answer would go.
Yeah.
But there's another segment. They're like, yeah, I got some Bitcoin. By the way, I got a little bit of Bitcoin.
Just
just a little bit,
Yeah.
I still got my
people selling their homes to buy Bitcoin.
Now that
they feel like it's more of a better investment to sell their home and buy Bitcoin than it is to own their own home. That's a whole shift in thinking. I don't know if I'm there, right? I don't know if I'm there.
Okay. See, I mean, we're not going to give a crypto lesson today, but understand when you play around in the stock market, you're not just playing around. There is something behind it. Mm-hmm. There is a company. There are shares. It's a business that has growth or doesn't have growth, mm-hmm. or who has a profit or doesn't have profit. There's something tangible mm-hmm. behind you buying the stock.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with crypto, you don't always have something that is tangible.
Right. Well, just in recent history, all the people that bought into Doggy Coin, Dogecoin, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, Dogecoin.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of people that came up off of it, but there are a lot of people that came into it late and ended up losing money.
Exactly. And that's the thing with crypto. You have to hit it at the right time.
Yes.
It's not like a situation with the stock market where you buy and hold.
Right. Yeah.
It is you buy low, or I should say buy early.
Yes.
Then once the jig is up about this particular crypto and everyone is on it, that's when you sell, because that's
when you sell, right? Yeah.
Right now I know I'm playing a game with Shiba. I'm waiting for Robinhood to list it.
Yeah.
Once Robinhood lists it and it gets as high as I think it's going to get, I'm selling.
Sell it. Yes. Right. Yeah.
I'm selling. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, give me some more crypto. Okay.
Right. Yes. So it's really one of those things where you got to do your due diligence. Just because it's trending and just because it's somebody I was watching, and I thought this was funny, a YouTube show, and he was like, some of y'all don't have any money, period, and y'all trying to invest in crypto.
I don't know who he was, but he right.
He's right. I was like, that's what I said. I said, no lies. It's the truth, because it's the trend, and I think people are hopeful to think they're gonna win the lottery or something.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. It's the new lottery.
It's the new lottery, and it's
the new lottery, but it's much prettier.
Right.
It's a little more sexy to you have it on your phone to show how many coins you have.
Yes.
But the thing that is really nice about crypto, there are some places that are accepting crypto as payment.
Oh yeah. You can on my store. You can buy stuff with crypto. Yeah.
Oh, you have that enabled?
I do. Yeah.
I do not have that enabled. I've thought about that.
Yes.
I do not have that enabled.
Nobody's bought anything with crypto yet, but but it's available. But yes. Yeah.
Like there are like pizzerias that will accept Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, now think about how high Bitcoin is. I mean, actually, let's take a look, because, that's the one thing. It changes every mill of a second.
Yeah.
So let's see what it's trading at right now. Let me go to my Coinbase, see what Coinbase has to say about it, which, by the way, it's always funny. Coinbase is always a little bit lower than everybody else, but that's another conversation, because they're more mainstream. So they get to, be a little bit lower. So according to this, Bitcoin is at $44,030 right now.
Yeah.
So that means it's like a Bitcoin that's in the 100th place that people are accepting for like payment.
Yeah.
Because of what it's trading at. Like Ethereum right now is over $3,000.
Yeah.
I got into Ethereum when it was like $1,000.
Yeah.
And I thought I was too late.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yes. But that's a good point too, where it's like, you got to know what you're doing. You got to know, it's almost like day trading. You really have to study the market. There are people coming out. I suspect it's fairly easy to come up with your own cryptocurrency, Yeah. So everybody and their mama has some sort of crypto that they want you to invest in. And
like the Entrepremommies coin.
I know, right? I can see that.
Right?
Yes. Yeah, there you go.
Use it to buy diapers.
Right. So, but it is important. Like, there's always ways for people to take money from you. So it's like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I dabble a little bit, but it's like, I'm a risk taker in some ways, but in other ways, I'm like, let me play it safe. Let me, I've grown up in a real estate family. So my whole focus has been property and land. You know what I mean? Buying a house was important for me. But my next step is, I'm looking in my next 5 to 10 year plan, and because land, they're not making. I mean, that's what you learn in real estate school. It's the one thing they ain't making anymore of, land.
That's right.
So it's always going to be of value because people need places to live. They need places to shop. It's always going to be in vogue. It's always going to be in need. Mm-hmm. So I've pretty much kind of that's just been ingrained in me my whole life. So that's where my focus is. You know what I mean? It's like crypto. It's like the exact opposite of it. You can't see it. You can't touch it. It's like,
and it's in a wallet. It might magically disappear one day.
Right. And it's like, even like blockchain technology, which is the thing that keeps track of the crypto, is, there's actually more benefit to understanding how that works than it is to understand how the crypto works. But it's like, you ask your average person about crypto, when you ask them about blockchain, they don't know what you're talking about.
They don't even realize it's two separate things.
They don't even realize exactly. So, so I'm just, land. That's what
right. Because it's something tangible. You can touch it.
Yes.
You can feel it.
But look at it this way, right? Where I live now in Chester County and Coatesville, Coatesville, unfortunately, is probably one of the poorest areas in the county. But
you wouldn't know.
Even to rent, but even if you wanted to rent in the city, you're still looking at a $1,500 to $1,700 a month rental.
That's about 2 bedroom.
Right. That's about
two bedroom. And that's about my mama's rent.
That's an increase from, let's say, 5 years ago, when maybe the median rent was $900 to $1,000. So in 5 years, if you are a landlord, you've experienced, now mind you, their mortgage most likely didn't change, right?
Right.
So they went from making $900 a month to making $1,500 a month. $600 increase, right? So even in the poorest part of Chester, of the richest county, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Even in the poorest part of the richest county, land and buildings and property is still valuable, still making money. So, yeah.
And there's still land out in Chester County.
And there's still land out.
Lots of it.
There's still lots of it, right? Yes. So yeah, so it's just like, sometimes you can look at something like that. You can look at the hotness of crypto, and it's like, it is tantalizing and tempting, and it's interesting. And it's like, what brought me really in was the doggy coin. But yeah, I was like, that's what brought me in, because I was just like, I'm bought in, I'm watching it triple and stuff. And I'm like, yes,
right.
Yeah.
It's a nice feeling, because
it is.
It's a really nice, like, I know, I'm really proud of of getting Sheba when I got Sheba.
Yeah.
Like and honestly, I've already kind of in a way made my money back.
Yeah.
I'm just holding on.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to be disciplined.
Yes.
Okay. Because I could have just took my quick return and ran.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, I'm trying to be disciplined with it. And it's different.
Yeah.
It's a different feeling than sort of close to, but it's like if you go to the casino.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, oh, I did it. I figured it out.
And right. Yeah. I beat the house.
Right.
That's a thing. If you can beat the house, let me know the secret. Okay.
Yeah.
But it gives you that adrenaline of like, oh, I'm winning I'm winning off of something. And it because it's like decentralized.
Yes.
You in a way kind of feel like you're getting away with something.
Yes.
That you shouldn't be getting away with, but no one can tell you can't, and that's the other thing. It's probably not going to be decentralized soon.
Right. No. I mean, it's already regulating. I mean, even when you're doing your taxes, it's like, did you buy and sell any cryptocurrency this year?
None of your damn business if I bought some crypto or not.
IRS. So yeah, it's becoming mainstream. But I feel like the Super Bowl, for the most part, the majority of people watch the Super Bowl and the commercials. They know that market, either people who are interested just to find out more, people who want to take that risk. I mean, they may have spent $7 million, but they probably are going to double that,
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So
it's a good investment.
Yeah.
It's a good investment to have a Super Bowl
such a simple commercial,
that had to be the cheapest one to make.
Yes.
And I didn't see them all, but I know that was the cheapest one to make.
Yeah.
It had to be.
Definitely.
Because I'm like, I could have made that.
Yeah.
On my little tiny computer. Shoot, I could have made it on my cell phone, Nikki.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
I could have.
One of my favorite commercials was the Alexa one with Scarlett Johansson and her husband, whose name I don't know.
He's on SNL.
Yes, he's on SNL, but I don't see Scarlett Johansson's husband. I bet he hates that.
I know his name too. It just is leaving me. I'm going to get his name. I'm going to get it.
Yes.
And I'm not going to get it by searching Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson's husband.
Colin Yost.
Yes.
I didn't even finish it. Yes. I got it. Colin Yost.
Yes. Yeah. So I like that because I feel like, AI is also a thing that's becoming more a part of our lives.
Oh, yeah.
And here you go. I mean, they've been pushing that agenda for a couple of years now with different commercials and stuff. And I feel like I liked how they did it. And I think it's something that we're all thinking, sometimes when Alexa talks to me, she's taught to anticipate my needs for certain things. Like she'll be like, suggestion.
Like, first of all, no one asked you.
Right. Would you like me to set an alarm? Would you like me to do this? And it's like, hey, you know what? I actually would like that.
It's funny you talk about AI because this book, I'm looking to see when this book came out. I'm going to my Kindle. There's a book called The War on Normal People. And it was written by Andrew Yang, who, if you remember the presidential election, yes, he did run to be president. He's the one that talked about the minimum basic income for everybody.
Yes, yeah.
He wanted to give everyone, I think, like $500 or $600 a month or something like that.
Yeah.
And everyone laughed at him.
Yeah.
That was before COVID, right?
Right. Yep. Yeah.
That was before COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
People, that was before
I know too many people turning down that advanced tax credit.
Right. He talked about it, but we actually got to see it in practice and go, we do got the means to do that.
Yeah. And a lot of people out. That was a safety net for a lot of people, that money coming. And when it left in December, it's funny. I've seen like 10, 15 articles about, we should bring it back. Families are suffering because they don't have that safety net, this, that, and the other.
Right.
And it's like, so here he was, ahead of his time.
He really was ahead of his time. Well, the reason why I bring up his book is because he talked, even though the name of the book is called The War on Normal People, he talks about the modernization of industry.
Yeah.
And how each industry is evolving to not need employees.
Yeah.
So what I came away from his book was I need to learn a little bit more about these processes. He talked about how, and I've actually seen it in action. He talked about how even with like customer service jobs, how a person could be in India. They could be talking the way that they would speak in India, knowing that they're talking to a person in America. There is AI function that will take their voice and turn it from what you hear of a person speaking in India to what it sounds like a person would be speaking in America.
Yes. Yep.
There is technology to make you think you are talking to someone local and you are not.
Yeah.
And they are spending good money on this. It ain't cheap, okay?
Yeah.
But now there are, think about our stores, Nikki. I have a chat bot. You got a chat bot. I'm sure you do. I don't even know if you do, but you don't man that, right?
No.
Right? You have plug and play situations where if certain keywords are said or around a certain keyword, there is a response that it automatically has for every customer.
Yep.
I ain't never chatted with any of my customers. Never.
I know, right? You know what's funny is before I installed the chatbot, I had like an app set up to go to my cell phone. So if somebody came to the store, it would immediately ping me. And I'm sitting, whatever. Maybe I'm at the doctor's office and I'm like, oh, our sizes are blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, whatever. And so now when I installed the chatbot, I was like, I don't get any customer service. Because the first function was you could have off hours and on hours, right? And then it was just like, okay, we'll just put your common, frequently asked questions, get answers for that. And then I probably have maybe 10 or 15 people. Nah, maybe not that many. Maybe like 5 to 10 people ask questions a day. I have no idea that they're asking questions, that they've inquired about their orders, that they're asking size questions, they're asking about shipping. Because my chatbot, she does a good job. And it's enough
on the job.
Yes, it's enough that it solves their problem and they go away. So, which is, that means I don't have to get involved. So I can be a large company with being a small company. I mean, I can appear that way.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But there was something you said I wanted to chime in on. Darn COVID.
Yeah, that COVID brain is real, isn't it?
Yes, I have COVID brain. I can't think of words. Sometimes I'm like, oh, and it's simple words, and it's like,
I'm still coming back from that myself.
Yes,
and it's sort of like pregnancy brain a little bit.
Yes, it is. It's horrible.
Yeah,
it's like in the middle of talking, and then all of a sudden, what was I talking about?
It's like, oh, and you're like, you're trying to grab it.
Yes. And it's like, I can see the connection in my brain. Like it's reaching for the question. It was reaching for what I wanted to say. It's like, Tiffany was talking about Yang and AI. And then it was like, and you had something and it's like, bam, it's gone. I have no idea. It'll come back 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it'll come back. You'll send me a random text message. I'm like,
that's what I wanted to say. It's like, I know what it is.
I knew if we bantered long enough.
I've seen this year so far. I've seen a pizza making robot, a coffee making robot. I have seen so many things where I'm just like, please don't celebrate these things. These are people's jobs. Right now.
Could you imagine if you went into Starbucks and there was no one there?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Because actually, now I've never worked for Starbucks, but I've seen them make my drink. Okay. Yes. Everything is labeled.
Yes.
Everything has its own place.
Yes.
A robot could deal with that.
That's exactly. Let me tell you, I have worked at Starbucks, and their process is, I mean, it is a process. I mean, there's no deviating from it, right? Everything is measured out, everything, right? A robot could definitely. And then I think the hardest thing at Starbucks, for me, was the cash register. But as a computer, as an AI, as a robot, I mean, that's what they do. So they could automatically go through their little spreadsheets and be like, okay, she ordered this. I mean, it was even a big deal when we stopped writing on the cups. It just prints out now. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. No,
they just put the little tag on my cup and keep it moving. Yeah.
Yes. So I mean, so it's definitely, I could see it. And given if we have any more type pandemics and people are concerned about hygiene and stuff, I have to be honest. Me eating out is not a thing, really. Like, I don't like to eat. I will drive place. I'll be like, oh, do I want something to eat? Do I want, things that I used to really enjoy? I'm like, I'm gonna go home and eat. I don't feel, because I don't like it. I'm concerned about the infection of the employee.
Well, I do notice, especially because where I'm at, we don't have a mask mandate. So if I see them people cooking and they ain't got no mask on, I'll walk right out.
Yes, exactly. I feel the same way, Tiff. I'm like, you know what? I want my cooks wearing masks.
Like, I'm gonna go back to that.
I even want y'all wearing gloves sometimes.
Like I need y'all to start looking like the lunch ladies at school.
That's right. Hair nets.
I need covered. Yes, I need y'all to look like the lunch ladies at school when you make my meal.
Yes. And that's like, really, it's a whole, almost a reactionary thing to COVID. Because like before I was working in food service, things, and how trifling people can be. And so like that already put you on a level, but this COVID put me on an extra level. So it's just like, so there is a lot of money I am not spending out because I'm just like, I don't, if I can get this stuff through the air, why can't I get it through food?
Right. I think it's safe to say that I have only like eaten inside a restaurant twice during this whole time. Yeah. That's it.
I'm with you. I'm not too many more than that.
Maybe 3. I'm only thinking of the 2. That's it. It was once with a larger group with my family, and then one night my husband and I went out. Yeah. And afterwards he was like, yeah, we can just order in.
Yes. It's just not the same thing. It's not the same anymore. I mean, eating out used to be like a really pleasant experience.
That used to be a thing. Yeah. Like that for me, like eating out, like, first of all, as Black people, let's bring it all the way back. Back when, there was segregation, the reason why there were juke joints and speakeasies and things like that was because Black people couldn't go into a regular bar or into a regular restaurant a lot of times. Yeah. We weren't allowed in there. So we, as we always do, we make our own. So now that things have integrated, it's like a big deal that we can go out to eat anywhere we want, sit at the window if we want. Right. Okay. Now, right. I'm good. I'll meet y'all at the curb. Bring me my food.
Right. You can leave that on the porch. Yeah.
Right. Like one of the restaurants out here that my husband and I used to go to all the time because they were reasonable with the prices. You get a good portion. They have not had their doors open since COVID. They have a whole system now. You can call before you get there. You go to the parking lot. They have a QR code, girl, outside. Yes. And they have a note explaining to people what to do. Because with the QR code, it takes you to their menu. Yeah. And they have a button right on the thing where it says, call the restaurant. Yeah. You call the restaurant, you tell them what lane you're in, what number, space, and they bring it all to your car. Yeah. Pay at your car. Yeah. You get your food at your car. Yeah. I don't think they ever gonna open back up.
Yeah. And my thing is, I don't see why Sonic ain't increasing in locations, because Sonic got the right idea with the little drive-through car. Yeah.
And actually, I have eaten at a Sonic since this. Yeah. Yes. I've gone
Sonic, and they've been doing this for a long time.
Because one thing about Sonic, they are on point with the fast food.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. They are on point with the fast food. When you order, you hit that button, you get your order, you can pay right there. Yes. Like they already had it set up for touchless. Yes. Yep. They had it already set up. I mean, I'm sure they didn't know, but their concept already was together. It was other places that had to be like them. Yes. Yep. Yeah. But I will say, even though we're back on this, Chick-fil-A, they have really figured it out.
Oh, Chick-fil-A, right? I see a nice Chick-fil-A Sonic collaboration.
You can tell we hungry, right?
Yeah, I know. I got my sandwich sitting right here.
I'm like, how far am I away from dinner? So, yes. But oh my,
yeah. Tiffany, okay. I have to cut this short because my offspring is about to walk in.
Well, yeah, I'm looking at mine. I'm like, well, guys,
you're about to hurt everybody's feelings.
Yes, this has been another fun-filled installment of Entrepremommies. Just want to say, just real quick, we both have like solo projects, so feel free to follow Home with Nicole on Twitter. She also has a great podcast. I will say it's really nice because if you are short on time, you can always listen. It's like less than 10, 12 minutes, something like that. Live, Love, Lux. I hope I said that right. Did I say that right?
Live, Love, Lux. Yeah.
I love how you say it. So. And I also have a podcast called Resellqueen Chronicles where we talk about all things reselling. So feel free to follow us and watch us and give us your 2 cents on all of our comments. So this has been another fun-filled installment of Entrepremommies. I am Tiffy T.
And I'm Nicole Flamer.
And we are the moms that handle business. Bye.
At Entrepremommies.